Are you living your passion? What is your passion? Welcome to the Luxe Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should enjoy living their best life, their Luxe Life.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. I'm back with another episode of Luxe Life Discover with my co-host Shannon Richmond, and our guest today is Marta Rose Thorpe, and we're glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, good. So give us a little background about your connection to Panama City Beach, what brought you here?
Sure. Well, I guess you could say I'm a local. I've been here 17 years now.
Okay.
Counted this year. I can't believe it's been that long. I moved here from Los Angeles in 2004, and it was a big change. It was fast-paced life to very slow, especially in 2004. If you can imagine, it was before Pier Park. And,
Who can imagine that?
I know. And there wasn't really that much going on Back Beach Road either. I mean, there was a few things. So very different. And it took a while to acclimate. I got the job at the Beach Chamber of Commerce for a while. That was my first job here.
Okay.
Yeah, for 9 years in communications, and love the Beach Chamber.
Thank you.
I will always be a Beach Chamber member forever, whatever my endeavor is.
Right. So first of all, what brought you to the area?
I have a sister who's lived here for about 30-something years now.
Okay.
And we grew up in St. Augustine. I'm a Floridian.
Okay,
But after
right.
college, I just decided I wanted greener pastures. And I was a marketing and advertising major. And I just got this notion that I wanted to work at a big ad agency in Los Angeles. So I did. And I worked for several big Los Angeles ad agencies and a few small ones. Okay. I was out there 18 years. It was a long time. And then, I missed a lot while I was out there, even though life was fantastic. I lived in Santa Monica, which I adore. Right. I missed a lot of weddings and graduations and some family reunions, and I realized, we're a strong, tight family. I don't want to miss anymore.
Right.
So, and I was, the one out there. Everybody else was kind of here. Right. So I moved back. My sister lived in Bay County and said, "Why don't you move here?"
So when you came back, mentioning be 2004 and before Pier Park.
Yes.
So what's it been like to be here and see all the growth and the changes? Because there's so much going on now, and to think that all of that was so rural back then and undeveloped, it's hard to even imagine.
It's very exciting, Rick. I love this community. I've been coming here on vacation for decades, so I've slowly seen the progress. But just being here day to day, after I moved here and lived here full time, super exciting. I can remember back in the 2000s, it seems like every year something new would come to Back Beach Road. And now they're building this, now they're building this. And then, of course, if anybody that lived here in 05, 06, 07, remember, that's when all the condos were going up. And it was crazy to see all that vertical development up and down the beach.
So you were here doing all that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it had started before I got here, but by the time I landed, it was in full swing and continuing on.
Wow.
And, that led up to the market crash, of course, which everybody remembers.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen this place become a lot more diverse with restaurants, with art and culture, with people, different kinds of people, and that's exciting to me.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Steiner Event Group. Steiner Event Group is a national event planner that produces results for their clients. They offer event and wedding planning on any scale, hosting bridal shows, scouting talented models, and producing riveting concept photo shoots to help their clients expand their brands, products, and services. Whether you're a business professional aiming to take your brand to the next level, planning a corporate or private event, a bride seeking to have the wedding of your dreams, or a model ready to be discovered, Steiner Event Group is ready for you.
All right, speaking of all that, what's the most exciting or positive thing you've seen in the last few years?
Oh, boy. I would say, the people. The families that are moving in here, so Katrina happened in 2005, right. Hurricane Katrina, and we had an influx of new people, a lot from New Orleans and that area. And it seems like hurricane storms kind of bring people. After Hurricane Michael 3 years ago now, people left, new people came in afterward. So every time that happens, and I think as we develop more, word is getting out around the country and globally, hey, Panama City Beach, Florida, we're a thing, we're a place.
Right.
When I first moved here, most of my friends in Los Angeles did not know of Panama City Beach, Florida. It's like, where is that? What is that? So the word's getting out, and we're getting people from all over the country, different states, and with that brings different kinds of culture and interests, and a lot of entrepreneurs coming here, starting restaurants and small businesses.
The small businesses, that's key to the area as well. So
Absolutely, yes. What I've seen, and I saw this when I worked at the Chamber too, and I'm sure you see it, is a lot of people want to retire for whatever state they're living in. They're ready to retire from their corporate job and move on down to Panama City Beach, Florida. It's been a dream,
Right.
And they finally get here, and they're not retired for very long. They come out of retirement. They retire from retirement and become an entrepreneur and open up something cool, like a little coffee bar or something.
isn't it fun to see people do that and realize they're living their passion even after they've retired from a career?
Yes, it really is. And it gives me hope that my passion's coming up down the road.
So what all, you're involved with a coalition. Tell us about that, the Grand Lagoon Coalition.
The Grand Lagoon Coalition. The Grand Lagoon Coalition is a local merchant association of, we're in here in the Grand Lagoon right here. The Thomas Drive corridor, kind of up to Joan Avenue, Front Beach Road. There's that big square known as the Grand Lagoon, the east end of the beach. Mm-hmm. And it's a merchant association that exists to elevate and grow tourism and development in the east end of the beach. This is historically where all of the fishing and boating and diving and water play has happened for decades in Bay County. Yeah. And it was kind of the it spot. And then Pier Park came up in 2008, and Aaron Besant Park, and more development out that way. And there's a lot going on the west end of the beach now. So the east end kind of felt that they needed to gather and coordinate some efforts to elevate tourism and development on this end.
Okay. So what events, I know you'll have a couple coming up by the time this airs that will be in the past, but they're annual events. So let's talk about those so people can still look forward to the next one.
Sure. So the coalition has 5 signature events right now. In order, I'll start with, in the springtime, we have what's known as Tacos and Tequila. It moved around for a little bit its first few years. Now it's found its home in Hammerhead Fred's, and it's always Mother's Day weekend. Okay. So that's a fun festival. We put on festivals, local festivals. Right. We do a thing called Freedom Rocks on the 3rd of July, and there's a barge that goes out in the middle of the Grand Lagoon, and fireworks go off. Okay. And that's, so we don't want to compete with what's going on 4th of July, but that's a fun thing. And it's synchronized to music. Local radio stations sync up to different songs while the fireworks go off. Okay. We have the Pirates of the High Seas Festival is every Sunday. It just happened.
Right.
Pirates, Columbus Day weekend.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we just had a fun all-day pirate party at Captain Anderson's Marina.
I remember seeing your photos too. So
I went
really
dressed as a pirate.
Part. Yes,
yeah. And we encourage kids and everybody, come dress the part. Yeah. Then the Grand Lagoon Coalition has the Bloody Mary Festival at the Sheraton. That's always in early November. And this year will be our 2nd annual golf tournament of the Grand Lagoon. That's in early November as well.
So you guys do quite a few events.
Those are the 5 things. And, it's a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 charity. So all of the money goes right back in to just putting on the next events, and we want to create some fun and vibrant things happening at this end.
That's awesome. So, this is Luxe Life, and we know that you are living your Luxe Life. It's not how much money you make. It's not the house you have, the car you drive, but you're living your passion. And you truly, when I look at you and hear what you say and see what you do, you are living your passion. So what are some of the things that you're involved with right now?
Oh gosh, Shannon, my passion is bringing people together. I'm a people connector. I know you're a people connector. But I love putting on events because it brings people together. I love the face-to-face. It's magical. It's powerful. We text all day long and social media and Instagram and all these different apps. And we Zoom. And, Zoom is okay, but the real face-to-face is exciting. So I published 2 magazines, Grand Lagoon Life is a local magazine. It's a monthly that goes out to people that live in the Grand Lagoon, and we host an event every month or two. Last year, believe it or not, in 2020, we hosted 6 events.
Wow. In 2020, that's crazy.
Yeah, I had 12 on the table, and we had to postpone 6. This year, we've done 4. So it's just gathering people, whether it's a comedy show. We just had a comedy show last week. Or sometimes I've done things at tech farms in the Grand Lagoon called Tech Talk and Tacos, where it's like a Shark Tank kind of thing. People come together, and the guys that are inventors, take 5 minutes and talk about what they're inventing and working on. And, Finn's Island Style Grub, a local taco bar, puts together the spread, and a couple hundred people come, and things like that. They're all kind of unique. They have their own theme. So that's my Grand Lagoon Life hat. My newest hat is BeLocal Bay County. It's a platform that I'm bringing to Bay County, and this is working with the new mover market. I don't know if you know this, but about 500 families on average are moving into zip codes all over Bay County per month right now.
That's crazy.
500. I mean, I don't think we've ever been at a point where we could say it was that many, that fast.
Right.
And it's probably going to increase as we go. And you guys have seen the development at Sweet Bay and Latitude Margaritaville and Breakfast Point, and Callaway has D.R. Horton building big communities once Tyndall's about to come back. Yep. So more and more people are moving here, and me being the new mover that I once was from LA, and having a hard time fitting in quickly, this is for that person. So this gives them resources. This gets them, hey, do you need a dentist, a hair salon, a car, a car fix-it place? Or I think what people really want to know is, where do the locals go? Where's the favorite place on the beach for a sunset? Where's their favorite date night? Where do the locals go to hang out for coffee and conversation? So this guide is going to be laced with that kind of information.
And when you come to an area like this, you want that local feel. You don't want the tradition tourist. You want that experience, but at the same time, when I travel, I want to know what the tourists do. So I understand that completely. That's really a good concept.
Right. And all throughout the guide, like on every page, we're going to have locals tips, locals favorites, little headshots of locals, Shannon R., Rick S. In fact, I'm going to have to take your picture before we leave here because I need both of you in this guide.
Oh boy, that's exciting.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Orville's Men's Store. Thank you, Orville's Men's Store, for supplying the men's clothing for today's podcast. For the absolute best in casual and dress wear for men, visit orvillesms.com. That's ORVILLESMS.com.
So Marta, some other things that you're staying really busy with that keeps your heart just filled. I know you do a lot of charity work, and which one do we all try to get involved with and push for this community because it's so important for the vets? What do you do for the vets?
Oh gosh, my husband Jimmy Thorpe is a retired veteran. He served in the U.S. Army, and he's just got a passion, a soft spot for the men and women who have served. And so he started a program several years ago called Vets Helping Vets. He expanded it the next year to Vets Helping Vets and First Responders because the men and women in our community keep us safe. So what we want to do is really just appreciate all these people. And as you know, we have a lot of military here in Bay County. So 8 times a year, we put on an appreciation lunch, 4 in Walton County, 4 in Bay County. We just tell everybody that we know, please, a lot of it is word of mouth. We do some social media. And we gather everybody over here in Bay County. It's next week, and it's at Texas Roadhouse, and we pack it out. We're probably in our 6th year, I believe, this year, and I think you can't get more than 400 bodies in there, and that's what we've been getting lately is 400. Wow. But what's really cool about this, so we have sponsors. We usually have about 12 sponsors that all help chip in and pay for the food. All of the vets, they line up. There's a big line out the front, and there is just a human tunnel of people, ambassadors, business people who have come to just shake their hand or give them a hug or thank them for their service. And they create a tunnel that all the guys and ladies walk through, and they're so touched, you can tell. And they wear their Vietnam hats and, wherever they served, and it's really, really a cool event. A lot of giveaways, a lot of veteran organizations like the Vet Center always shows up, and the Hope Project. He's got the horses for people with PTSD and things like that. So,
And what about that one real big giveaway that you guys do each quarter for the vets?
Oh, thank you. I almost forgot. So my husband owns an air conditioning company, and so his big giveaway is an AC unit. He gives 12 away a year. 2 at the Bay County events, 1 to a veteran, 1 to a first responder, and then 1 to the Walton County event. Less people go to that one. So yes, we're giving, and people can go online to asuperiораc.com, and there's just the steps on how to apply for it. But one of the American Legions in town gets together and they vote. They see all the applicants and they'll vote on the winners each time. And it's just heartwarming to see these folks that, especially in the summertime when they have no AC unit, or if they're living with kids with no AC unit, and you know how stifling hot it gets
Absolutely.
here. So they're just floored when they have won a unit. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I
No pun intended.
Cool as a cucumber. So I go to the events, and it's just so heartwarming to see all of these vets come, and you treat them just with so much love and respect. And it's just, if you've never been, you really need to attend one of those. So speaking of your husband, Jimmy, I hear there's a new venture in your future, maybe in town in the Cove.
You hear correctly, Shannon.
Okay.
Wow, you know everything, don't you?
Oh, I try.
Not much gets past her. So.
Well, you know, we're talking about the Luxe Life and passions, and my whole life. You know, I told you I grew up in St. Augustine, and there's little Sangria bars and little restaurants, and up and down the old town, the Restoration area they call it, St. George Street. So my whole life, I kind of had this vision that maybe one day I'd have a Sangria bar. I'd move back to St. Augustine, and you know the bar is down here, and I'd live above. So I shared that with my husband Jimmy. So cut to today, there's an old laundromat in the Cove on Cherry and Bonita, and Hurricane Michael destroyed it. I think it was there for decades. He bought the building, he renovated it, restored it, raised the roof. It's got a nice high ceiling now. It's kind of modern looking, and it was going to be an A Superior AC, and one day we're driving around the Cove, and I just said, this is, how many homes is this? It looks like over 1,000. He said, yeah, it's around 1,300. I said, where do people go for a cup of coffee around here? Because there's no commercial. You know, there's really so many houses. It's dense with residential, but no place for people to go within walking distance. So the light bulb went off, and we said, let's open a little espresso bar by day, and at night it'll be a Sangria bar.
Oh, your little piece of St. Augustine.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. It opens sometime in November. It's called Café del Mundo,
And what does that mean?
Coffee of the World.
I love it.
Wow.
We always love the Café du Monde in New
Yes,
Orleans,
yes.
the French version.
So that's exciting how you are bringing your passion and from your childhood, and now it's becoming reality. So
The dream is going to be realized. And it was funny the other day, he looked at me, he said, you do know how to make sangria, right? I mean, we're getting all our ducks in a row. We've never run an establishment before. So this is all new. We're kind of diving into the unknown. And like we were talking about people coming out of retiring from retirement and starting something new. This is brand new, and we don't know what we're doing yet, but that's going to be half the fun, I think. Figuring it out.
I think you're right. And you know, with such a supportive community,
This really
you're going to do a
is.
fantastic job.
This really is. This Bay County is hugely a supportive community.
I'm excited. I can't wait to come in and have my coffee in the day and may just stay over for the evening.
For the
You guys-
sangria.
That's right.
You guys don't mind crossing the bridge, right?
Right. Well,
You know there's
yeah.
that bridge.
Or are you going to have any lofts above? I just like making it overnight, so no.
Maybe
But,
we'll have to figure something out.
That's true. Uber's always an option. So, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how you do all this in just a day's time.
With By the Sea Resorts, you have so many options, you never have to settle. By the Sea Resorts offers 5 restaurants and 11 hotels where you can enjoy the sights and the sounds of the Gulf. spread out in spacious guest rooms. Or book your next event or meeting in one of our many customizable spaces. For dining, we're serving up sunshine and good times at all 3 of our Barefoot restaurant locations. Or experience waterfront dining at the Shrimp Boat Restaurant. And enjoy live entertainment every weekend at House of Bourbon by the Sea Resorts. We're saving you a front row seat.
I mean, but if you're passionate about something, you make it easy.
You figure out a way. If you really want to do whatever it is, you figure out a way. And like with the magazines, I've learned that a lot of what I do is on a laptop and a phone. So the coffee shop is going to be my new office. I'll probably be conducting magazine business from that coffee shop. You'll see me, I'll be in the back with my laptop. You just make it all work. We have to team up. He's got a veteran lunch going on today. So we're just splitting, dividing, and, doing different things.
Yeah, like Shannon said, you're doing, like most people would pick one option that you're doing, and you're doing several, and you're doing them well, which is a great testament to you.
You're kind.
So.
I like staying busy. I love this community, and I forgot to mention there's another big event in the Grand Lagoon.
What's that?
Can we talk about
Let's do it.
the PC Beach Fishing Rodeo? I would be remiss if I did not mention it.
And they just
because
had it, didn't they?
It just finished. It's a 17-day fishing tournament fashioned after the Destin Fishing Rodeo, which is in its 73rd year. It's going on right now. But the Grand Lagoon needed a big anchor event. The Bloody Mary festivals and the tacos and tequila are great, but that's not a huge anchor event. And so Joe Lehman came along with Captain Mike, and together they talked about this since the beginning of the year about putting on a giant fishing tournament. And I think it's brilliant that it was 3 weekends. So 17 days encompassed 3 weekends because there could be inclement weather in there. And that would at least give them one really good sunny weekend. Sure enough, last weekend was sunny and beautiful. The weekend before that, we got rained out. So that worked. A lot of people came to the first event. They had all sorts of things going on over there, from axe throwing and games and cornhole and live music, vendors. So they really made a big thing out of it at Captain Anderson's Marina. That was kind of like the festival home base.
Okay.
So I'm excited to be a part of that. I'm going to help him put on the next one next year. So just more exciting things going on in the Grand Lagoon.
So this year was the first year?
It was, the inaugural.
How many fishermen came, do you know? Or what the number was by any chance?
Probably a little over 100.
Really?
People registered.
That's fantastic.
And that's a combination of charter boats. There were different divisions, recreational boats, kayak division, paddleboard, pier fishing.
So paddleboard fishing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Never thought about that.
And kayaks. And the people that won, these were pretty sizable fish.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
I guess if you know where to go,
well, my
that's the
problem
key.
first would be to stay on the paddleboard.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I could get a fish or not.
I know, that's like doing more than one thing at once. You're balancing and you're fishing
True.
and trying not to get lost.
So what's the next project for you? Like, do you ever take or better yet, when you take a break, what do you do when you take a break?
We like to go out of town because if I stay local, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna stay busy. I'm gonna keep involved in something. We love to travel. Our family likes to go to Mexico or just take little day trips, weekend trips to New Orleans or St. Augustine or somewhere else in Florida. Go up to Atlanta. So I just little traveling, I would say.
Just a little break.
Keeps me balanced.
Right.
Yeah.
We all need that.
Yes, we do.
We do. But I'm not opposed to a good staycation either.
Without working, could you do it?
I'd have to leave my house and leave the laptop at home.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
I've never been able to do it either. So, in fact, when we're here for 2 weeks in June every year, my wife is like, "You're not going to work, and you're not taking your laptop," and that's never happens.
Mandatory fun.
Yes. Well,
In a
she
sense.
knows. Yeah, she knows that if I, especially when you work for yourself and you're living your passion, it's hard to turn it off sometime.
Absolutely.
And so I can. It takes me a good 2 to 3 days to unwind, and then I can enjoy like one full day on the beach. And then if we're only here for a week, then it's time that you start thinking about everything else when you get back, what to do. And now that I'm working here so much, it's easier to do, but I can't go to the beach by myself. She's like, well, why don't you go to the beach? I'm like, I'm working. I'm not here to go to the beach.
Oh.
And so she always gets upset with me about that still.
And I mean, this is the best time of year. October's my favorite month in Bay County.
It's beautiful.
The humidity has gone away, and talk about go to the beach and the sunsets. The sunsets are crazy. I wish you could somehow put a photo up of an October sunset here locally.
And lately I've seen a lot of posts, sunrises and sunsets that have been just amazing. And it's just, and the pictures still don't do them justice.
They don't.
Yeah.
And it looks like the pictures were doctored and put through filters
right.
because the sky is just multicolored. But October, and traditionally October is the month of festivals. And, when I moved here and was working at the chamber in 05, 06, 07, the shoulder seasons were still not huge, and they were always trying to beef up the shoulder seasons. We had the Indian Summer Festival.
Yeah, I remember that
out
one.
at Frank Brown Park. That was a big one. I believe Thunder Beach was happening back then, but we didn't have the car show here yet, and Aaron Besant Park was not developed yet, so all the things that go on there hadn't come yet. So I've just noticed through the years, since more and more is coming, that October is just a huge, every weekend there's things going on. And it seems like that for the spring too, the other shoulder.
It just seems like we're becoming an all-around, all-year-long destination. It's no longer just spring or summer. We just seem to be like getting it all year round, which is amazing for our community and all of our businesses.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the economy is, like we always say, when you're in traffic, a lot of the tourists are like, oh, I can't get, but when we're locals, we're like, oh yeah, look at all this money coming into our town.
Right,
And,
I know.
and you have to look at it both ways too, because it's a good problem to have. There are a lot of places across America that would love to have that issue. Too many people or having to wait at certain places for a longer period than you think you should, that type thing. A lot of places would love to have those same problems.
But then the other thing is, I mean, as Bay County evolves, if you will, and like we're saying, more and more people are moving here, I've noticed more traffic even in the off season than ever before.
Yep.
And it's
Right.
just more traffic, and you see license plates from all over. More people live here.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's a double-edged sword. It's, we don't, sometimes it feels like, oh, we don't have our
Beach to
our
ourselves.
quiet locals beach back. But at the same time, like you say, this is good for the economy and it's good for our development.
Right.
Yeah, and there's just more happening.
True. And you're a big part of it, and we appreciate that. And we thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your Luxe Life with us, because it's been very great talking with you.
And you too, both of you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Luxe Life Discovered. Our next episode, we will feature William Bascal, who is known to his friends as Pine, and he's the owner of Pineapple Willie's, and we'll look forward to talking with him.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support our show, leave us a review. That's the #1 way to help this show reach others just like you. Join us next time for another Luxe Life Discovered.